The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had
Да ты
indeed
шо, прям
changed.
переменилась.
In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
You must leave me alone now. I have agreed to everything, even to...
But you do realize your mother will have to accept the consequences of her acts.
I hope that your search will prove successful and bring
А рот
Sarah
открыть
back
не
to us
надо?
soon.
Блядь,
I'll be
меня всегда
leaving now
удивляет.
because whatever it is you're up to, I do not want to know.
Since then, we have become one and the same. We have officially erased the identity of my sister Emma. Emily
Обожди,
Hillsborough.
а здесь две женщины
The woman
одинаковые,
with two
что ли?
faces.
Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated.
А
Don't
как это?
forget where you are,
Ее же
please.
убили, не? Я, блядь, нихуя не поняла, что... Детальный анализ французской революции, описывающий ее предпосылки. Подожди. Точно, астрономия нафиг не нужна. Софизм. Латинский, греческий. О, вот это, наверное, прочту. Так и сестру же вроде убили, разве нет? Мать-то с ума сошла. Вход в склеп 22 января 1793 года.
Don't move.
Wait, I don't...
So you've come at last.
Easy. Let me turn around. Oh my god, Mother, what has happened to you?
Who are you?
Ты чё, сына,
What?
блядь,
But,
не узнал?
Mother,
Who are you?
it's me, Louis, your son.
No, you lie.
Блядь, у нее память
You
отшибла.
won't catch me out like that. Louis isn't here. He obeys his mother. He would never have
Да
come here.
схуяли, меня
Mother,
позвали, я
I don't know what you've
приехала.
been through, but lower your arm, please.
You think I was born yesterday, do you? But it won't work.
I'm begging you.
One day you will fall.
Mother!
Why are you here?
Ё-моё, противостояние. Даже
I'm here to help you.
знаю.
You have nothing to fear.
If only it were so simple. You are evil incarnate. Every word that comes out of your mouth is sharper than a razor blade.
I don't wish you any harm. Really, Mother. It's
Так,
me.
я все очки
Louis.
просрала.
Don't speak to me about him. You will
Женщина, ты
never get him.
сбрендила.
Mother, stop torturing yourself. It really is me, Louis. How can I
Так, я,
convince
наверное,
you?
вот это вкачаю
If
на
you
всякий
really are
случай.
who you say you are, what was the saying I taught you?
You've been
Ой,
telling it to me
бля,
since
я
I
не
was 3
помню
years old,
девиза.
Mother. How could I ever forget it? Always keep your mind rational.
О, блядь. И открытым, и открытым, в
And
принципе,
open.
без разницы.
You knew it. You are smart.
Хотя нахрен
You're
я это
getting me muddled up.
использовала?
Tell me,
Мне вот
rather,
эту фигню убрал.
Whose
Меня
place
дурочку.
were we at when I told you I was coming here?
Mother, I really am your son. You can't trick me. We were in Paris. We were investigating an art dealer.
His name?
О. Вот это, конечно, вопрос интересный.
His name was Von Bullshit.
Не он.
Louis would never have got it wrong.
Блять, нет,
dirtbag.
нет, это
No,
неправильно.
wait,
Это
it's just a
неправильно.
detail. He lived
Все-таки
in
там...
Paris, near the Notre Dame
Ой, ну
Cathedral.
ладно.
We investigated him for 3 months. He made a fortune by taking advantage of gullible collectors of Parisian high society.
You're a good actor.
Чё,
He was an
всё
ancient
помнить
art
надо,
dealer.
что ли?
He had the book, Al-Azif.
And that's what you wanted to get out of me, wasn't it?
Not at all. We unmasked him, but then he came after us. We escaped, but you didn't want me to intervene. I listened to you, and we knocked him out.
What? How? You can't know about that. Louis, no, it's
Ты дура.
really you?
Или ты дура?
No, no, no.
Ну не
It's
стреляй
not
только
true.
в
It's
меня.
a nightmare. Don't tell me that. Have you spoken to him?
Oh, shit. She's completely panicked because I spoke to Mortimer.
It seems she's afraid of what he might have said to me about her.
Did he speak to you?
Mother,
Так,
I
вот
don't know
это
what you're
используй,
imagining,
пожалуй.
but don't worry. Everything will be all right. If you're worried about what I might think about Elizabeth Adams, honestly...
Oh, Louis! Elizabeth is the last of my worries right now.
Всё-таки она
I did what I
признала.
could for her, but it was too late.
Very well. Rational and open, Louis.
Since you arrived on the island, has anything strange happened to you?
Depends
Да,
on what you mean by
бывало.
strange. Do you want to tell me about your relationship with Elizabeth Adams?
Louis, I don't know what you found out, but just know that I did everything I could to help her.
You mean the voices that she claimed to hear?
Я правильно выбрала.
Look, this is neither the place nor the time to speak about it. Now shut up and listen to me. We might still have a chance. Something of utmost importance is going to play out right here.
What are you talking about?
A conference, Louis. I should think all Mortimer's
Ну
guests have
да.
arrived by now, haven't they?
Yes, they
у
have.
неё?
Since this morning.
Perfect.
Соплюховая
The
кровь,
conference
блин.
will be able to begin.
Indeed. It shouldn't be long and...
Let me finish. We haven't time. You will attend this conference,
Сука.
and you must find out what Mortimer is up to. Don't trust him, Louis.
Ок,
Understood?
я и не собиралась ему верить.
Right. I'll do what you ask of me. But calm down, please, Mother.
Louis, I made a mistake by coming here. We are in the lion's den.
What do you mean?
Mortimer, Holm, their guests. Watch what
Ну да, они
happens. Do you
подозрительные.
think it's normal that the representatives of the most powerful nations are here all on their own without anyone else? On an island in the middle of nowhere in total secrecy?
No, not really, but...
Louis, they shape the world. They manipulate us. Everything is decided here and now. They create and break states, provoke wars, destitute governments, or decide who will be their leaders. Open your eyes!
Mother, calm yourself, please.
Nothing is impossible for them. They are capable of
Ну, я
reaching
птичку отравила,
everyone,
если
wherever
что.
they may
Ну,
be.
можно считать,
Through
что
high
я
society
молодец.
banquets, they modeled the future of us all. And it isn't at all an issue for them.
And? What do you propose?
It's time to act, my son. You will go to this conference, and from the inside, you'll do everything you can to prevent Mortimer's plan from going ahead smoothly. We can talk later. I'll explain everything.
But why?
Do as I say, Louis. It's of the utmost importance. Beware of Mortimer. He won't let anything stand in his way.
You promised me that after...
Yes, after. Go now.
Yes, Mother, I'm going.
Блять, командующий,
One more
зараза.
thing, Mother. Emily Hillsborough, Emma's sister, came to this island looking for her sister. She probably won't hesitate to take revenge and...
Это означает, что собрание начинается?
It's the signal that the conference is starting, Louis. Don't be concerned about the Duchess. She's the last of our worries.
Ну ладно, ладно. А у него что, нос разбит? Или так и было? Посетите собрание. Сейчас все будет. Так, я вроде же дрова обновила. Какого хрена ты мне немножко лагаешь? Так, я только путь немножечко забыла. Мне бы отпутаться кое-как. Ну в принципе я вроде как отпуталась. Ой, а здесь что-нибудь осталось? Не, это диван. Там мед, например. Еще какая-нибудь подобная дресня. Но мне сюда же вроде, да?
Monsieur de Richet, you're the only one missing at the conference. Please join the guests.
Окей.
Monsieur de Richet,
А
you're
где?
the only one missing at the conference. Please join the guests.
Я могу пройти? Нет? Не сюда? А куда? Нет, это не сюда. О. А вот это что?
Christ Crucified by Velasquez. Look, someone's left a note there. Reserved for the Duke of Alquidia.
Опа. Нет места для якорцев. Ага. Я уже не помню, для чего якорцы нужны. Тоже якорцы, нет? А, нет. А, нет. Мне сюда?
Mr. de Richet, you are expected at the conference. Please take the door to your left to join the guests.
Окей. Ну хотя бы не по всему замку, дворцу не пришлось бегать. О, нифига себе, вот это стульчики, мажорное собрание. Будем захватывать мир, походу. Вот он, сучара. Ой, этот нам не доверяет, это пиздец. Я надеюсь, он не будет мне помехой. Я хотела бы еще осмотреться в поисках клюк всяких. Так, блять, ну зачем мне столько якорцев? Вот зачем? Если что, это не я птицу отравила, она сама. А что, мне еще один осколок нужно? Монеточка?
A chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol of water.
Не могу взломать оба. Так, это выход. Еще? А, вот еще монеточка. Сколько здесь монет коллекционных вообще собрать надо? Мне, походу, надо со всеми ними переговорить. Это опять якорцы, да? Так, и все, я вроде все остальное смотрела. Блядь, чувак, только не выдай меня.
I don't know if you ever found what you were looking for in the garden, but Mortimer is waiting for you. I suggest you get a move on.
You say it as if you were afraid of him.
Ой-ой-ой. Ну ладно, я использую ради того, чтобы...
I sense that you have things you'd like to say, but something's holding you back. What is
Вот
going on between you
слабость
two?
нашли.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I believed in him. I followed him to the best of my ability. I championed his ideas, defended his decisions.
А, прокололся.
Realizing it, I became lost. The siren's song, Monsieur de Richet. You wake up one morning, not knowing where you are, and you think about everything you've done for a man who wasn't even worth it. For a man who has no respect for you, who uses you, and who drops you as soon as he no longer needs you. For me, it's too late now. But you still have a choice. Don't respond to his call, sir.
Бля, жалко мужика, что-то стало. Так, сначала я побазарю со всеми ними, а потом с этим вот говнюком поговорю.
My son, glad you're here. It seems Lord Mortimer's been waiting for you to arrive before
я уже
beginning.
знаю.
What a pity your mother isn't here for the conference.
Да,
I
там
hope
прячется в
I'll be
саду.
able to see her before I leave. I still have a very important letter to give to her.
Feeling all right, Louis? You look like you're miles away.
Everything's fine. Don't worry.
Lord Mortimer wants to talk to you, Louis. Don't make him wait.
Да подождет еще, никуда не денется. Так, он там находится. Вот тут вот еще разговор. О, не. Точнее, а подожди. Вот он здесь, вот он там.
Ah, Louis, I've
Не
been
поняла
expecting you.
сейчас.
Thank you for joining us.
Как он
We are about to begin
раздвоился.
our conference. Let me explain what is at
Но тоже
stake.
есть брат-близнец.
Thank you kindly. But what do you expect of me exactly? My mother's the one who's supposed to attend, not me.
That is indeed what was initially intended. Unfortunately, she still hasn't been found, and my guests can't stay here indefinitely. The conference must begin, and it would be truly beneficial to the Order to join in the project. Consequently, I would like you to replace her during her absence. What is at stake here is of the utmost importance.
It's important that the French Order gets their say. And should you need any advice, don't worry. You are not alone, Louis.
Very well.
Так, перейти, закончить, а ходим, может
concrete
спросить.
terms, how do you organize your discussions?
A conference is always organized the same way. There are two masters of ceremony who determine an important subject.
You and Sir Gregory, I presume.
Exactly. We shall be the masters of ceremony. It was our obligation to each bring to the table several guests in order to debate a subject. Once the debate is closed, a decision will be made by a vote of all the participants.
By a unanimous vote. If the project is not agreed on by all, then it will be rejected.
And neither of the two masters of ceremony have the right to vote.
It's up to the guests alone to decide, Louis. In other words, us.
Gregory and myself are merely the go-betweens. Finally, if the project is validated, each guest goes home and starts working to make it happen.
It can take years.
Подожди, а с кем тогда Бонапарт пиздит? Ты что-то запуталась. Ладно. Цель.
Can you give me a brief explanation of the aim of it all?
Of course, Louis, I was coming to that. The aim of these meetings is to bring together the most influential people in order to think together about the future.
But the future of who?
Of the world, Louis.
Our desire is to steer the destiny of our respective countries for the good of all, and to no longer suffer the random hazards of history.
Я только
Can
вот
you
это
give me an
спрошу.
example of an event that was decided here before being implemented in the outside world?
Well, take the French Revolution. It was decided right here 2 years before its implementation in France.
Concerning the case of the French Revolution, I wasn't invited. But as far as the American Revolution is concerned, Louis, I can testify that we planned it 5 years before implementing it, for example.
Louis, let me keep you a moment.
А что еще надо? Что-то надо.
I would like to let you in on a secret before we begin, because I'm going to need your assistance. You see, the project I'm going to present concerns the territory of Louisiana in North America. It's currently Spanish territory, and I'm going to make the proposition to the Assembly for it to become French.
Причем здесь
But
я?
how does that concern me?
Well, you see, I prepared this project with your mother. We began
Так, она
thinking
сказала
about a
ему не
crazy idea.
доверять.
Unfortunately, Sarah went missing before getting the bigger picture. I don't intend to stop at
Я не
Louisiana.
буду его слушать,
My
тогда я
idea
сделаю
is to
наоборот.
increase the territory of the United States. The first stone of this vast project consists of getting Spain to cede Louisiana to France. Once it becomes French, France will hand it over to the United States, which will then allow them to double the size of their territory. And that's where you come in. France
можно
and the
ее
United
Испания
States,
оставить?
hand in hand, two democracies illuminating the world.
На что вы рассчитываете?
Lord
Ладно, потрачу на
Mortimer,
это, пожалуйста.
I'm sure you're aware that Louisiana is hardly prime quality land. I wouldn't be exaggerating to call it marshland. How is acquiring land they won't know what to do with going to strengthen the United States?
Think further, Louis. The United States won't stop there. Once they've acquired Louisiana, nothing will stop them. All they would have to do then is keep pushing toward the west to take the whole North American continent.
So you intend to get rid of the Spanish?
They are purely transitory. This is the settlers' home. It is natural for them to want to develop their nation to become one of the greatest powers of this world. As for the Spanish, there are just a handful of them actually on site, and if need be, we'll see to it that they are sufficiently occupied in Europe so that their focus is not on the North American continent. Moreover,
Всех
Spain
перепутал.
really only cares about its colonies in South America. It's hardly my fault if they are not capable of seeing the potential in the North American territories. The concept of royalty is from bygone times. It is time to lead the way to democracy. Take a look at them. Apart from President Washington, they all belong to monarchies. Do you really think they won't resist? Of course they'll fight, fearful as they are of losing their precious privileges. But the world needs visionaries, like you, like your mother. It's a pity Sarah isn't here to see it.
Да
She
хорош
only knew
давить,
about a
что
tiny
матери
part of
нету.
the project. I hope I can count on you.
Не
Louis.
рассчитывай на мою
It's
помощь.
time to start now. I must ask you to keep it to yourself for the time being. Take a seat, follow the discussions. We'll have an opportunity to catch up later, and you'll be able to let me know your thoughts.
Я тебе не буду помогать, даже не надейся.
Blast it, Mother. You didn't know about everything. His project is commendable. Why tell me to beware? Could you have gotten it wrong?
Не, чувак, блядь, он войну хочет разжечь. Я
My
ему не буду
friends,
доверять,
I
пошел в
propose we
пизду.
get started.
Если, конечно, там не будет опять типа противостояния, то тут придется сдаться.
First of all, I would like to thank you for taking the time to come.
The honor is ours, my lord.
As per our custom, here we are all together to discuss the face of tomorrow's world. Even though there may be certain tensions between our nations, I must ask you to keep an open mind. As Sarah de Richet is unable to be among us, please welcome Louis de Richet, who will represent the Golden Order and will vote on its behalf when the time comes.
Welcome among us, Louis.
Welcome, Monsieur.
I hope he'll be more effective than his mother regarding the protection of the King of France. The Order has proved particularly inefficient.
Come, Manuel, you're not going to spoil our visit. The Order's mission was not to protect King Louis XVI, as far as I am aware.
We are talking about a king of divine blood, for goodness sake. It seemed obvious to me he needed protecting. If the Golden Order wants to pride itself on being an influential organization, it should have kept him alive.
Давайте
Thank you
говорить
all.
из радуш.
I am honored to be among you today.
Я не
I
буду
will
обращать
strive to
внимание на
represent
его
the
слова.
interests of
Ну
the order
уж
as
это.
best I can.
Perhaps we may begin.
Нечего тут раздувать другие конфликты.
Certainly. I have a dream that our nations will continue to support each other, more now than ever before. A dream that, for the sake of common good, we
Да,
will
да,
do what
попиздим
it
тут,
takes to ensure
попиздим.
stability in the modern world. I have a dream that we shall lead by example and ensure that the American territory may remain in peace.
Thank you for the thought, Lord Mortimer, but I don't see where you're leading.
I'm coming to it, Mr. President. I need not remind you that North America is currently divided between the United States on the east coast and Spain, which occupies the remaining two-thirds.
Да пусть Испания
Well,
оставит
I
себе.
propose that Spain cede the center of the continent
Это надо было
to
все
France,
записки
namely
перечитать,
all of
блядь.
Louisiana.
Louisiana? But
Блядь,
it is
надо
not
все
for sale.
записки перечитать,
Lord
сука.
Mortimer, I sincerely hope
А я
I have
только
not
Африку
come all this
прочитала.
way just to hear you ramble on about what Spain should and should not do. When we
Сядь.
went to all the trouble of gaining the territory a few years ago, it was not just to lose it today. Have I made myself clear?
What did I tell
А
you?
это понятно, что
You
они
speak
будут
of
драться
union,
потом за эту
and yet here you
территорию.
are, about to tear us apart.
Duke Manuel, I perfectly understand you. But rest assured, you will soon adore my proposition.
Не-не-не-не-не.
You shall see.
Well, since you give me the choice, my good fellow, allow me to doubt it. However, I am impatient to hear what Spain could possibly gain from the sale of Louisiana.
I never spoke of a sale, my good fellow.
What? But I do not understand.
There is one more territory left to conquer, if I'm not mistaken, in the northwest. It is, of course, occupied by your notorious Indians, but...
We shall soon be rid of the savages, so that is not the question.
Ну ладно, они типа не
Duke,
дикари.
these savages, as you call them, were there before you. They are on their homeland.
As much as the black people of Africa, Monsieur de Richet. That does not stop your dear France from massacring them and sending them like cattle to Mr. Washington's cotton plantations to provide him with cheap labor. So you keep your morals to yourself, if you please.
Senor, I would not like to be associated with that. The subject of black slaves in the United States of America is a complex subject, which we shall resolve at a future date.
France is not without fault, but that doesn't take away Spain's responsibilities. You see, Native Americans are being subjected to a veritable ethnic cleansing. Europeans are colonizing their land so that it then belongs to them. The widespread evangelization of its inhabitants will soon eradicate a multitude of cultures. You've done the same thing in South America. How far will white people go? Reservations to pin them in like cattle? Total genocide?
Come now, my friends. Let us not digress. Anyway, these primitive people have no souls, Louis. We bring the good word to them.
Да, что-то не похоже, что вы их спасаете на самом
You'll
деле.
see. Colonization brings with it many benefits, too.
Excuse me, if you don't mind, Your Eminence, I shall continue.
Ой, заткнись,
Duke Manuel, I believe that Spain should cede Louisiana to France free of charge.
This is utterly grotesque, Lord Mortimer. What a
Я
strange
согласна
example
с
you
вами.
set for your young protege. Isn't that so, Monsieur de Richet? Do you understand anything of this proposition?
Ой, нихуя ж нет такой. Я промолчу, пожалуй.
I must say, William, I find your project mostly
Мне тоже не
disfavors
нравится
me.
затея.
I thought you were my friend.
And I am, Mr. President. That is why I'm doing everything in my power to calm your expansionist fervor. France, in Louisiana, should persuade you not to attempt anything to take the territory by force. Louisiana is a vast wetland where you would needlessly lose most of your troops. It would weaken you and offer certain nations the perfect opportunity to take back your famous United States. I am protecting you from yourself, George. Trust me.
I understand. But with friends like you, sir, I certainly don't need any more enemies. I hope you know what you're doing.
О, противостояние чувствую, да, нет? Ой, да почему я всегда не успеваю
Not
с
to
этой
put too
хуйней?
fine a point on it, Lord Mortimer, but I doubt the Holy See would be in favor of Catholic Louisiana being handed over to secular revolutionaries and king killers.
I should think Monsieur de Richet has an opinion on this
Да
subject.
чё ж вы меня-то все спрашиваете?
Your
Ладно,
Eminence,
у меня
have
вот
no
это
fear
вот
over
0
that.
очков, поэтому я это
I am sure
использую. Вы
France will do
столкнулись с
everything in its power
устойчивостью
to protect the
Пьяджи.
Christians of Louisiana.
My young friend, how can you come out with such a remark after the discussion we had on the evening
Так,
of
вот
your
это мы с вами
arrival?
убираем.
If France was so respectful of worship, it would not be bleeding priests as it is doing at this very moment in time. Don't be naive. This is politics.
Ну, а хули вы меня позвали тогда? Вы же знаете, что я молодольно легко манипулировать и приму ваше решение.
Mi auguro che insegnerete l'educazione a questo giovanotto presuntuoso, Sir Gregory.
What?
I hope
Успела.
will teach this pretentious
Блять, я ж
young man
тогда
some
нажимала
manners,
тоже, но
Sir
почему-то
Gregory.
оно не
It
воспринималось.
looks like I won't be just making friends here.
In any case, my lord, I doubt the English crown will agree.
Ich versichere Ihnen, Emily, nie Preußen wird
Да вы
diese
задолбали,
Vereinbarung
то немецкий, то еще какой-то.
I assure you, Emily, the Prussian will never accept this agreement. Volner looks like he's set on ruining Mortimer's plan.
Я поддерживаю его. Дайте мне его поддержать, пожалуйста.
These are grave times. We don't care about the fate of Louisiana.
That worthless expanse of putrid swamps interests no one but yourself.
Speak for yourself, my friend.
Hold on there, Mr. Roy.
А может, эта возможность была недоступна, кстати? Она красным горела. Возможно.
Home, Godoy, and now Volner? Mortimer's adversaries are ready to tear each other to pieces, and he takes a malicious pleasure in watching it happen.
How dare
Gentlemen,
Да,
let
он
us
хочет
try to
поссориться,
remain
как
calm.
There you
очевидно.
are, William. See where your projects have taken us, as per usual. Chaos.
А он
That's it.
наслаждается
I'm
этим.
tired. We shall continue this discussion tomorrow, but please be aware
Я
that your
гарантирую, что он
project will
провалится.
never be ratified.
Отвечаю.
Those who are opposed to this project, follow me.
Ой, а можно я тоже за ним последую?
Are you coming with us, Monsieur de Richet?
Come, Gregory, I think Louis would rather stay. Wouldn't you, Louis?
Я, конечно же, я
At
Холма
the risk
поддержу.
of displeasing you, my lord, I'd rather follow Sir Gregory. I don't think this is a place for the Order.
Louis? No.
Let him go, Mr. President. Everyone is free to choose.
Мне сказали не доверять Марсимеру, я так и поступлю. Идите в жопу.
How can he be so blind? If he keeps this up, he'll lead our countries to their destruction.
Don't worry, we shall counter him, Sir Gregory.
We have to act immediately. Calm down, Gregory. We only have to vote against his project, and that's it.
They haven't got a chance. Just one vote will suffice.
True. There is no chance of a unanimous vote. And he knows it. He must be preparing something else. What is he plotting?
Ну, я раскрою, ладно,
What did you
хорошо,
just say,
посмотрим.
His aim is for the United States to take the whole of the North American continent.
But that is impossible.
A democratic superpower? I don't understand. That has nothing to do with the coming vote.
He will ask for France to take over Louisiana, and then hand it over to the United States, and so double the size of their territory.
Once that's done, he will just need to push a bit more, and you will lose North America, Duke Manuel.
God's blood! Has he gone mad?
No, Johann. He has always been mad. Louis, I would like to thank you for what you've just revealed. If not for you, I don't know if we'd have been capable of deciphering his plans quickly enough.
А если он, конечно, мне не напиздел?
What are we going to do now that we know about it?
Destroy him.
No! We'll beat him at his own game, my friends. His plan begins with Louisiana, which is still yours, Duke Manuel. He will begin with you. Expect to receive an envoy, French most probably. He will try to convince you by every possible means. Whatever he says, whatever he promises, you have just one response. It's war. If war is what you want, war is what you'll get. And on your own territory, in your homes. Enough games. Spain will join the coalition against France and declare war. You too, Duchess Hillsborough. You will speak to the Queen so that Great Britain commits to
он
going
это,
to
мне
war with
кажется, и
France.
хотел как раз.
What do you expect from the Papal States, Sir Gregory? What do you think? That they hold a mass? They will go to war, of course. What is it that you didn't understand in what I just told you?
Ой,
We
ёпта,
all
что я
declare war on
сделала?
France. Militarily, politically, and financially.
Мне кажется, это неправильно.
And me, Sir Gregory? How can I help?
Louis, you have won my trust. The Order will have to act in France, but even before that, I'm going to need you. Right here and right now. Leave me now. I have to prepare for tomorrow. Let's meet early tomorrow morning for the next phase of the conference, which promises to be most exciting. Louis, I'd like to see you a moment, please.
Да, да, конечно, конечно.
Thank you for signing with me today. I won't forget it. I'm going to need you. Help me counter Mortimer on his own ground. Right here. I'm sure he'll try and win some of you over. He needs our votes. Now, you leave that to me. In the meantime, I must ask you to go and see President Washington.
Ой, блядь, он мне
Persuade him to
припомнит то, что
trust
я ему
me
не помогла
and
с
join us.
Лизой. Ну ладно, я сделаю это, конечно.
You should go right away. There's no time to lose. William already has a head start on us.
Very well. I'll go right away.
Ну типа ладно, только метку мне дайте или что-нибудь еще, если у меня противостояние с ним возникнет. Мне это не помешает.
There's a pattern with 5 circles on this chest.
Мед, хочу я. А что это?
All right. I've retrieved everything.
Ой, нахуя мне столько золотого эликсира? Вот. Мне не эликсир золотой нужен. А можно мне в мою комнату, кстати? Я ж так монетку оттуда и не забрала. Мед, хочу я мед, мед. Дай мне мед. Скотина. А, это мне не сюда, видимо, надо. А сюда? Так. Попытайтесь переубедить Джорджа Вашингтона. Сейчас. Секунду. Мед хочу я. Хочу я мед. О, открыто. Ну, типа, к матери, наверное, сейчас опасно идти. Ну, тут вряд ли мед будет еще. Мне, скорее всего, нужно к нему в покой идти. Так, комната его... Я не помню, где находится, если честно.
Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
Так, нет, не к Эмили надо.
Duke Manuel Godoy.
Годой. Дальше наша с вами комната будет. Потом Пьяджа. Или Пьяджи, как там правильно. Так, а вот дальше я не помню. Ну, где-то, короче, там должна быть его комната. По-моему, вот это.
George Washington.
А его типа тут-то нет. Ой, как хорошо, что его тут нету. Я хочу обыскать. Все?
Locked.
Блять, ладно. Пока еще пороемся, если я найду мед. Ой. А, не-не-не. Ну, да и тем более закрыто.
My dear George, I'd like to invite you to join me as planned at my place. I have a project to show you. It is time that the United States played a more important role on the world stage.
Да, пизди. Тут мы уже знаем, что ты говнюк. Говнюк еще тот. Куда он? А, он мне на эту показывал, господи. Нет, тут что-то... О. Что тут? Маленький ключ. Может быть, от сундука, кстати. Мед.
Portrait of George Washington.
Портрет Вашингтона. Так, давай попробуем открыть вот это вот сундучок.
Locked.
О, да, конечно же, от этого ключ. И там труп. Нифига себе.
President's personal reserve of laudanum, and judging by the quantity, you can't go without it. Ah, There's also a letter.
Наверняка Элизабет еще. Так, мистер Вашингтон, отвечаю вам при первой же возможности. Мы говорили о вашем здоровье до того, как вы уехали, никаких изменений не последовало. Прошу, вспомните мои рекомендации и прекратите принимать настойку опия. У него целый чемодан опия, мать твою. Я уже ищу замену, но боюсь, ждать вы не будете. Если вы продолжите злоупотреблять опием, то рискуете не получить новый мандат. Зависимость плохо сказывается на вашей службе. Мой друг, сожалею, но вам придется отказаться от опии. Искренне ваш доктор Томптон. О, тут письмо. Получено янтарный принц. Хорошо. Мне, в принципе, здесь делать больше нечего. Опа, опа, опа. Как я могла это пропустить?
Devil's Thorn. I'll keep it.
Блять, ради якорца. Какая же я скотина. Так, ну там балкон закрыт. И ща, как назло, Вашингтон будет. Да я тут немножко в чемодане порылась. Говорим правду.
I won't beat around the
Не
bush.
буду говорить, что я ошиблась.
I came to persuade you not to follow Lord Mortimer on this one.
I appreciate your forthrightness, Louis. That will save us some time. Well, since you're here, can I get you something to drink?
Не, только не смотри на чемодан, который я открыла.
As you wish. Well, Louis, it's getting late, and this is not my first conference, so let's get straight to the point. You are here to motivate me to change sides.
I have decided not to follow Mortimer.
I noticed. Every man must make his own choice. What can we say? That's the political game. And you did not commit to supporting Mortimer, so there's nothing for you to feel bad about. So what can I do for you?
Чем я могу помочь?
Mr. President, I don't believe it is necessary for me to motivate you at all. It's simply in your best interest. I was there at the conference, remember? Now, to put it bluntly, Mortimer announced a project that offers absolutely no interest for you. You said so yourself.
My young friend, I must admit that Lord Mortimer did somewhat surprise me earlier. Anyway, you haven't really said what you wanted to say. Tell me, Louis, what have you come here to sell me?
You should join home.
And why would I do that?
Ой, мать. Указать на долг перед матерью или шантажировать. Ёб твою мать.
You owe it to my mother. She helped you in your early days. She supported you when you needed it. I'm certain she'd be against this plan.
Do you know who introduced me to Sarah all those years ago? Lord Mortimer. Do you know who advised Sarah to start up a chapter of the Golden Order with me in the United States?
Lord Mortimer?
You see my point, then? I have a lot of respect for your mother, Louis, but my allegiance is to Lord Mortimer. Tell me what Sir Gregory has to offer that I don't already have with Lord Mortimer.
Блять. Я не знаю, какой из этого нормальный вариант. Ёб твою мать, у меня последний шанс.
What would you say to winning a few colonies? I'm sure that Sir Gregory would be prepared to discuss the acquisition of new territories.
No thanks, Louis. I'm not interested. Colonies bring with them their own thorny problems, and thus I prefer to focus on the consolidation of American territory. Listen, Louis. If I had any doubts about Lord Mortimer's project, I stand reassured now. I hope Sir Gregory has more tricks up his sleeves than you do, because I regret to inform you that, as far as politics is concerned, you've got a lot to learn.
Блять, надо было его шантажировать.
So don't worry. On that note, I would like to get some sleep.
Да пошел
ты.
Good night, Mr. President.
Shit. That was a failure. There's nothing more I can do except wait for the conference to resume tomorrow morning.
Отправляйтесь в постель. А можно не надо. Старый пердун, блин. Надеюсь, опийная зависимость его сгубит нахрен. Ну зайди ты, чмо. Монетку-то дайте взять, не? Я хочу монетку забрать. Опа.
Good evening, Monsieur le Français.
Duchess, you're here. What a charming surprise. I'm beginning to think you can't be without me.
You have managed to penetrate my armor, sir. Am I disturbing you, perhaps?
That's not what I said.
Ah, by the way, congratulations on choosing Sir Gregory this evening. You surprised me. I wasn't expecting it.
Why, Emily? Can't you read me like an open book?
Not as well as you read me, it would seem.
I'll teach you if you'd like.
There's nothing I'd like more.
Tell me, are these visits to Mortimer's always so intense?
Yes and no. My sister doesn't normally disappear like she has. Any news of your mother?
I've seen her, Emily.
What? When was that?
A little earlier, just before the conference. She was hiding.
And did you manage to speak to her?
She's not the same. I don't know what's been happening to her, but she's
понимаю.
changed. I found her in a deplorable state with one of her hands cut off. I mean, she was saying crazy things, bordering on delirium.
What? Did you say one of her hands was cut off? What happened to her?
I don't know. She wouldn't say.
And did she tell you why she shot Emma?
No. Unfortunately, we were unable to broach the subject. She seemed terribly upset, Emily. There's something strange going on here. She was fearful of something or someone.
Excuse me, Louis, but until we see proof of the contrary, she's the one who is sowing death everywhere she goes. We are the ones who ought to be fearful.
I know.
No, I apologize for that remark. Who do you think she's hiding from? Mortimer?
I don't know. Maybe.
Louis, I don't want to pile it on, but I would understand her feelings there. You ought to be wary of Mortimer. He's a manipulator, a liar, a coward who doesn't assume his responsibilities at all.
What exactly happened between you two, Emily? You're so radically against him.
Can we change subject, please? I didn't come here to go through all that again.
Of course, it's late. You're right.
Да. А можно это было не так приплюснуто делать?
Come, Louis.
О, все, опять кошмары пошли. И что на этот раз?
My friends, do not worry. I assure you that Lord Mortimer's plan will never see the light of day. I shall deal with informing our allies, but for the time being, I need you to make a stand.
What do you think about Monsieur de Richet?
I don't know yet. I feel there's great potential in him. He looks like he can be trusted.
Why isn't he with us? He was opposed to Mortimer.
I'll wait and see. I'm still not sure of his position. And Duchess Hillsborough. Why isn't she here? She's busy. Don't worry about her.
Oh, isn't it time to replace her?
Not so fast, sir. She is an important figure. You ought to have a little more faith in her. What are we going to do about Washington? He will be a hard nut to crack. On our chessboard, he is Mortimer's king. Don't worry. Mr. President only wants one thing. To keep his dear America united. He won't jeopardize everything he has achieved on a whim. He has been serving Mortimer for quite some time. It won't be easy to bring him around. I have asked Monsieur de Richet to approach him.
Да, я провалила его с треском.
I sense that Mr. Peru is about to surprise us too.
Yet he is Mortimer's strong arm in France.
He knows his time has come, and I believe he's intelligent enough to realize it means he is no longer any use to Mortimer. Do you feel all right, Mr. Godoy? You haven't said a word.
Please, excuse me, gentlemen. I feel tired.
Он не отравлен случайно?
Oh, I see. I think it is high time you left us then. Now!
Мне, походу, за ним придется следовать, да? Господи, да что ж тебе так плохо вечно от этих видений? А куда кровь делась?
Emily? Emily? Are you there?
Нет, она ушла и спиздила во все шмотки. Так а монетку-то дайте забрать.
You are expected in the conference room.
Tell them I'm coming. Thank you.
Come on, Louis. The game is back on.
Монетку? Сука. Монетку! Вообще мне пиздец будет.
My friends, the conference is about to begin. Please excuse me if I troubled you last night with my project. I understand that you might well have a few questions to ask. As you know, the final vote will be cast in a few days. This morning's aim is to answer your questions and check the temperature of your respective positions so that we may reach a greater understanding.
As always, Lord Mortimer.
We parted in perfect disagreement, my lord. Where would you like us to take it from?
Come, sir. Please let William believe he still has a chance of winning us over. Otherwise, his imprecations will lack panache, and we shall be bored stiff.
Oh, let me reassure you, I am convinced that a good night's sleep has brought sound advice, and that this morning will be even more interesting. Therefore, I would like to go around the table in order to hear everyone's first impressions.
Well, I am still firmly against it, even though my choice won't count.
Against.
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 And you, Luke Manuel?
Against, of course.
Well, as for me, I am for Lord Mortimer's
Ой, ну кто бы
project,
сомневался, да?
despite Duchess Hillsborough's overwhelmingly convincing nocturnal attentions.
What? So Emily was playing at trying to win over guests last night?
It was nothing more than a friendly little chat, of
Да,
course.
да, я так тебе
How could it be
поверила.
otherwise? And by the way, remember me to your husband when you see him. And you, President Washington, what is your position?
For, of course. And I will add for your benefit, Sir Gregory, that next time you send someone to try to persuade me to change sides, choose someone with a minimum of experience.
Oh, I won't forget, Mr. President.
Не смотрите на меня.
That leaves just yourself and Monsieur Peru, Louis.
You're all making me sick. Look at yourselves.
What?
You are pathetic!
О, все, катушечка полетела.
Quibbling away. My lord did this, and Madame Duchess that. You know very well that we're nothing but puppets on a damn string.
Jacques, really?
Let's end the charade. It's over.
Jacques.
My lord, thank you for everything you've done for me over the years. But it didn't come for free. And now I see the price is too high to pay. I'll stop.
Come, Jacques, we'll talk it over.
No, I'm finished. I want my freedom back, my lord. I shall no longer work for you.
Вмешаться! Вмешаться!
Wait. De Richet, you just can't help
Единственный шанс.
Stop trying to play the hero, man.
Jack, you know you can count on me. Calm down, please.
Блять, он же нам не доверяет.
There's nothing you can do for me.
Блять, бля, ну и пошло в жопу. Ладно, одним человеком меньше. А, это все, типа, да? А моя неудача только в том, что я Вашингтона не переубедила. А, и не спасла Жака. Угу. Я провела ночь с этой дурой. Я мог раскрыть тайну Жака, я могла встать на сторону Мартимера, могла раскрыть тайну Наполеона, могла узнать больше. Понятно, что я в этом случае знатно проебалась. Ну, ладно, хорошо. Хорошо. А чё так мало всё-таки клетки прибавили?
I don't understand. I spoke to him only
Игра с
recently.
огнем достижения.
Monsieur Perrault has lost his mind. It's obvious.
Yet another way for the French to make a spectacle of themselves. Well, once again, it has worked.
My friends, let us settle down, please. We are all in shock, of course. Let us praise Louis's gesture anyway. You did what you could.
Yes, it was very noble of you, Louis.
It wasn't your fault.
There was nothing else you could have done.
I think everyone needs a little rest. Can you stay a moment?
Of course.
Может, не надо? Ой, что я еще не читала, что мне могло пригодиться? Этикет, хитрость, политика, допрос. Ой, даже не знаю, наука, может, допрос? А я могу побродить там еще? Да, где-нибудь, нет? Он меня про сдохшую птичку хочет спросить, вот точно. Она что, дохлая еще валяется? Ну да. Ой, это не я птицу вашу не поняла.
Louis, I wanted to talk to you a moment about what has
не
happened.
надо.
All this is tragic, but I wanted to thank you for doing what you could.
I wasn't able to save him.
You couldn't, Louis. You mustn't blame yourself. It is not your fault.
Да я-то могла на самом деле.
I know this has nothing to do with me, my lord, but don't you think you're partly to blame? It won't escape your attention that he incriminated you before he took his own life.
I heard what he said, yes. Monsieur Perrault appeared to blame me for his condition. I certainly encouraged him to succeed, but I wasn't aware he couldn't handle the pressures of the situation. Of course, his duties in Paris were very difficult. The choices he had to make were burdensome. But that was the path he had chosen. Should I not have helped him to succeed, perhaps?
Did you push him into it?
I wouldn't say push, but I did encourage him, yes. I thought it was my duty to help him as much as I could to become the court judge he dreamed of being. I thought he was capable of it. It appears I was mistaken, unfortunately. What a pity he didn't come and speak to me. What a waste.
What are your plans now?
What do you mean?
For the conference. After the disappearances of both Elizabeth Adams and my mother, and now the death of Mr. Perrault, I should imagine that your guests are all packing their bags.
This might come as a bit of a shock to you, perhaps because it was so difficult to bring all these figures together. But I am convinced that none of them is preparing to leave.
Ой, что он подлагивает. Ну, возможно,
Are you serious?
They are all very experienced politicians. And though they are, of course, affected by the situation, they know full well that such an opportunity will not come again for a long time, if ever. They each represent their nation and know full well that what is at stake here is far greater than the death of poor Monsieur Perrault. You'll see. I am confident that they will all be ready to resume the conference.
If you say so. Allow me to take my leave, please.
Of course. You ought to get some rest.
Ага, спасибо.
Oh, Louis, one more thing,
Да
please.
что?
What a pity you didn't support me during the conference.
А я не
I
собираюсь
hope I
дальше
can count
поддерживать.
on you on the day of the vote.
Да
This
нет.
major project needs men like you, Louis.
Не уговоришь. Нет,
I'm
спасибо.
flattered, my lord, but I don't know what could possibly make me change my mind.
Please, don't refuse me my last hope.
Don't mix hope
Я
with
сказала
illusion,
нет.
my lord.
And you, illusion with strategy, my friend.
You win. I'll let you have the last word. I'll see you later, my lord.
Не заставишь передумать. Верните свою комнату. Я вернусь, если мне дадут монетку. А я могу там кому-нибудь зайти еще, к Вашингтону, например, и опять его переубедить? А это кто?
Monsieur Johann von Wulner.
А, да ладно, я могу к нему войти.
Congratulations, Monsieur de Richet. You made the right decision at the conference. What can I do for you?
Оп.
Excuse me. Wrong room.
Угу. А как это мне дождаться, чтобы он из своей комнаты ушел? У Вашингтона я порылась. Мне у него делать нечего. Так, подожди. А ты чё? А. Это комната психованная.
August 24th, 1792. Elizabeth, I'm driven to despair.
А, это все читали. Ну тут вроде ничего нового нету. Это тоже читали. Дай выйти. Ой! Палево.
Your Eminence. Ah, Louis. You were admirable. You didn't manage to save Peru. But whatever you do, don't blame yourself. You did your best.
Thank you, Your Eminence.
It's not going to help matters for Mortimer. Now he has one less vote for the conference.
What do you expect? Mortimer has chosen his supporters.
Maybe he should have chosen more carefully.
But even with such a setback, I'd still be wary of Mortimer. I sense he has still a few surprises in store for us.
Oh, I fully agree with you. I learned about your failure with Washington.
I did my best. The president is a shrewd diplomat.
It was perhaps too early to send you to the front line of the battle. Don't blame yourself.
Налейся на меня вот этот вот.
I am tired.
Весь опудрованный, не будем так смотреть, то может
I shall retire to my bed.
By all means, Your Eminence.
Да ты ж в постель хотел отправиться. А я была у него в комнате, кстати. Господи, я запуталась в этих бесконечных коридорах. Так, тут же никого нету, да? А, закрыто. А вот если я в ту дальнюю пойду, она тоже закрыта будет? Нет, открыта.
Monsieur de Richet, I have no time. I was about to join Sir Gregory. Come back later.
I wanted to talk to you a moment
I am expected. I'm sorry. We shall talk later.
Нихуя, он меня выгнал. Я могу через окно пробраться к нему? Или мне там вроде закрыто было?
Next time, I'll listen to my mother. Not a day has gone by without something happening to me. What now?
Сейчас убивать придут.
Louis, open up, please.
Coming, Mr. President, I'm coming.
Louis. There you are at last.
Да ты вроде не так
Yes,
долго
I
не
just saw
встречался.
your mother. She was accompanied by Emily, and they both went into the Duchess's room. I tried to join them, but I was refused entry. Louis, this does not bode well.
Oh, shit.
Опять выбирать,
Want
что
to
ли, надо
avenge your
будет?
sister. I must act quickly.
You're right, Mr. President. Thank you.
Он рыться в комнате будет. Найдите. Ну, вроде там комната была. Так а чё, я могу проникнуть в его комнату? Сука.
I do believe that's Emily's voice.
Блять, послушать может?
I can't understand what she's saying.
Па-па-па-па. Не, я, наверное, взломаю. Зачем мне выламывать ее?
I can't open it. It must be blocked on the other side. I'll have to find another way
Через
in.
балкон
Quick.
тогда. Блять, ну это ладно, это последний способ.
Emily, Emily, are you there? Answer me.
Они
Emily.
не ответят. Так, ладно, бежим на балкон тогда. А, не могу отсюда. Ой, блядь. А рядом комната там была вроде.
Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost. I have to get inside Emily's room through the... Shit! Locked.
Конечно. Она у нее вроде там где-то была. Закрыто. Открыто. Логично.
It's as if there are several people inside.
Подожди, я хочу сначала.
A letter from William the Younger,
I should never have
addressed to
told you
Emily.
what happened to me.
This is Cersei.
Монеточка.
I'm not that naive. I know you inside
Two
out.
coils circle
Stop.
the lock.
We'll end up losing everything if you keep on.
О, и письмецо еще какое-то.
Dear Gregory, thank you for the information. I've managed to find out about the names you gave me. George Washington is a man you can trust. In spite of his obvious talent for politics, he has remained upright and honest. On the other hand, as you may well know, he is already doing business with Lord Mortimer. It will be more difficult to approach him. Napoleon Bonaparte was unknown to me.
Right. I've retrieved everything. A letter from William Pitt the Elder addressed to Emily. He was the English Prime Minister. This letter dates from 15 years ago now. A devil's thorn. To be used to uncover the best disguised traits.
Почему мне одни ягодцы достаются? Тут я посмотрела. Так, там это закрыто. А, золотой эликсир, нет, нет.
What
Ой.
on earth is... You... Mother?
А когда он успел ее
How
застрелить?
dare you do this to me? You can talk. After everything I've done for you, you are
Да
joking,
ладно,
I
они...
hope, right? I gave you my life. That's enough, Emma. Now that Louis is here, you will leave Sarah alone. Cease your revenge immediately. What? If you think you're going to... Louis, help me, I beg you. I can no longer reason with her. I am Emily. Quit playing games. What? Honestly, don't be ridiculous. No. I am Emily. You are wasting your time. Louis knows very well how to tell us apart.
Да как вас
After everything we've
различить-то?
been through together.
Yes, well...
Don't you dare bring him into this. This is between you and me. I ask for nothing more, so stop taking it out on Sarah. You pretty little bitch! How dare you? Now that I've told you everything, you want to take my place, do you? You are joking, I hope. I'm the one who told you everything that's been going on while you were away. Go on then. That's what you want, isn't it? You want to kill me. Go on then, shoot! After all the trouble I've gone through to find you. Go on. What are you waiting for? Here, Louis, take this.
Wait, what's going...
An entire life for this. Go on, shoot! Sorry, Louis, I can't shoot her. She's my sister. That's
Да,
enough,
поэтому ты
Emma.
на меня
Louis,
спихиваешь.
out of the way. She's dangerous. Don't trust her. What are you trying to do? Louis, out of the way. I am not Emma. Come on, Louis, tell her who the real Emily is.
Wait,
That's right, Louis. I'm fed up with this little game. Tell him who the real Emily is.
Why do these things always happen to me?
Well, Louis, come on, you know how to tell us apart, right?
Yes, but... I'd like to ask you a few questions to make sure there's no doubt.
Rational and open, Louis. Let's see. How can I tell them apart? Wait, I've got an idea.
On the night of our arrival...
О, сзади, наверное, спрошу. Так. О, что вы мне
You handed
дали?
me something. I wasn't feeling very well, and you handed me something. What was it?
My handkerchief, and you stained it with your blood. You still
Бля.
have it, as a matter of fact. But she already knows all this, Louis. It's a waste of time.
Right. Let's find something else. Ah, yes. Let's speak about my arrival at the manor.
Давай теперь спереди спросим. Я, наверное, спрошу, как нас встретил Мартимер, но потому
On
что
the
он
night of
нас
our
не
arrival,
встречал.
we were warming ourselves in front of the fire. Mortimer welcomed us in a very odd way. What happened?
It won't work, Louis. It wasn't Mortimer who welcomed us. It was Sir Gregory. Sorry, Louis. I already told her.
Very well.
Let's try something else.
On the first night, we went up to bed, but I wasn't tired. I went for a little stroll. Before going to bed, I went for a stroll. Did we speak to each other during that stroll?
A stroll? Through my room in the middle of the night? You call that a stroll, Louis?
No, I grant you that. I just wanted to make sure. What did we say to each other at that precise moment in time?
I asked you what you were doing there, what you were playing at on the balcony, and if it was anything to do with the Golden Order.
And then?
Then I suggested you first ask permission the next time you wanted to go through my room. But she knows all that, Louis. I already told her. Don't think you're going to get away with this deception so easily. I can assure you, you're going to regret pretending to be me once Louis has exposed you.
Right. I don't think I'll get very far like this. I'll have to find something better.
Oh, I don't think I'll even wait until he's finished.
Take it easy now.
Are you mad, Louis?
Lower your
Давай в своем
I better act quickly if I don't want things to get out of hand.
Come on, she's putting one over on you. Look at yourself for crying out loud. You were prepared to shoot me down.
In the secret room behind the study. Talk to them about what you've been doing. Maybe they haven't spoken about it between each other yet.
On the night of the disappearance of Elizabeth Adams.
What about it? What do you want to know about that night?
Так, давайте тогда спереди спросим.
How did you vanquish the Medusa?
The Gorgon always attacks the best protected. The sword kills the monster charges the shield reflects the light, and the lantern perturbs the monster. I didn't need more than 2 minutes to solve that enigma. That's right. Make fun of us. That's enough! I've had enough of this charade. Louis,
There's only one way to tell us apart. There's just one thing I didn't tell her about in detail. Too bad for you, Emma. I didn't want it to come to this, but you leave me no choice. Ask her about you and I. You just lost, Emma. I indeed didn't tell you everything about it. Come, Louis. Speak about our intimacy.
Very well. Let's talk about us.
Я что-то все-таки ей. Почему вы решили зайти ко мне прошлой ночью?
Last night, you came to visit me, and I can't help wondering why. Why did you come to my room?
Louis, you must be mistaken. I did not go to your room last night. And that's where your little game ends, Emma. Because I never told you about it. So, there you can't answer. What? No! You didn't do that. I didn't want you to be jealous of Louis. Remember how you always used to react whenever you felt you were competing against a man? You dirty...
That's enough. I've had enough of this charade. That's enough, both of you. Now I know who the real Emily is.
Эмили Мне кажется, что она все-таки Хотя не, подожди. Не, мне кажется, она напротив.
Emily.
No, Louis. She is
Наблюдательный.
No, Emma. It's her. I know it. Despite all the trouble you've gone to put one over on me, I know it is her.
That's enough now, Emma. You little slut. Don't think you are going to get away with this so easily. You are going to stop your little game right now. Never. I am Duchess Hills. No.
Emily?
I am the Duchess.
But...
You don't. Dear God, what have I done? See what you've done. See?
О, мамка жива.
Louis?
Mother!
What on earth is...
Go away. You must go. Everyone is going to arrive.
Louis, what's going on?
Бежим, блядь.
Is everything all right?
Come on, Louis. There's nothing more you can do.
But I...
Leave us.
Emily, what's going on?
Mother, go to the crypt. I'll meet you there.
I'll be waiting for you.
Куда идти?
Madam, I am coming in.
It was bound to end like this, Louis. Let me stay with her. Please. Go. I'll cover you.
Ну ладно. Ну ладно. Встретись с матерью в склепе. Ну хорошо. А можно мне через другой, блядь, балкон какой-нибудь выйти, который выходит в коридор? Закрыто. Ну хорошо, выйду через кабинет этого или это комната его. Подожди. А мне вообще... Может, сюда? Нет, нельзя. Или это Наполеон? А, это Наполеон, по-моему.
Good God! They're all here. They must have heard the gunshot.
Where is Lord Mortimer?
Can anyone hear anything through the door?
А я могу по другой лестнице спуститься? Или мне с ними... Хотя, подожди, надо создать себе алиби, наверное. Если я побазарю с ними. Нет?
Did you hear that? I was not dreaming, was I?
Certainly not, Duke Godoy.
What's going on?
Someone had the bang coming from the Duchess's room, and she isn't answering. Gentlemen, go back to your rooms. Go back to your rooms. I shall find out from Lord Mortimer what this is all about. Thank you.
Okay. Я не хочу, чтобы меня слуга видел. А выход на улицу. Не на улицу, а в сад. В любой комнате вроде можно выйти. Нет, явно не тут. Ладно, я пробегусь. А я забыла, что якорь вообще показывает слабость и устойчивость? Ну, это как-то мне мало что-то дало. Так, вот здесь вот точно можно попасть. Ой, блин, с этими лабиринтами. А, она открыта. Сюда, видимо, мало кто заходит. Я надеюсь, здесь ловушки не будет никакой.
Louis! At last, there you are.
Mother, wait,
Come, we have to be quick.
No, wait, Mother,
Time is running out, Louis. First, we must...
No! That's enough. I won't go a step further unless you explain to me what is going on here. I'm begging you. Talk to me.
You must trust me, my son. You are not ready yet.
You're the one who should trust me. Tell me what's happening.
You would never believe me.
I came all the way here for you. Now I've found you. I'm ready, Mother.
If only, Louis, I have always taught you to keep your mind open and rational. I know you are going to find this hard to believe, but what I am going to reveal to you is entirely true.
Many years ago, I found out that demons really do live among us.
I beg your pardon?
And that they can influence our thoughts.
Mother, listen to yourself. I know you're exhausted, but for crying out loud, listen to what you're saying. Demons? What next? An ancient monster with a head like an octopus? What do your demons look like? Have they got horns and a pointed tail?
No, these are not creatures with billy goat's legs. Forget your Christian folklore. Imagine them more as parasitic spirits. They possess their hosts and direct them from inside.
Parasitic spirits?
Yes, they are capable of going from one body to another as they see fit. And 2 of them are present on this island.
Right. So let me guess. Lord Mortimer and Sir Gregory, right?
You felt it too?
No, even if Home does look the part. But I don't know who else could do it, given that we're on their territory.
Many years ago, well before you were born, I crossed paths with one of them. Since then, I've spent my life trying to find it again. When we recovered the Alizif, I was persuaded that von Burchard was working for this demon in one way or another. But I thought he would hand the book to a middleman during this conference. That's where I made an error that could well turn out to be fatal. The one who Burchard was meant to give the book to was none other than the demon in person, Mortimer. Not to mention that Home had sent Volner to get it for him.
Home and Mortimer are demons?
They both seem to disagree about many things, but I'll admit I never knew exactly why. There are many of them, Louis, not just those 2.
Mother, have you any proof to support any of this?
Of course, but you do too. You had everything laid out in front of you. Didn't you notice anything?
О, да, секретный кабинет, там до хера
You
всего было.
understood the Masonic date.
1191.
Of course! It was during that siege that the demon took possession of Sir Mortimer. They spent a whole night in conversation until the early hours of the morning. Mortimer had passed the test. He had charmed the demon, and so it chose him to be its host for centuries to come. But tell me, did you find his secret study?
I did indeed.
Did you see his maps of the world?
He has contacts the world over.
Yes, I've been developing the Golden Order across the world for many years, and I've never seen anyone with such influence. It's simply inhuman.
Так, что я ищу? Или обо всем можно
I must
поговорить,
admit,
кстати.
I found it difficult to understand how and why Mortimer didn't have a place in history.
On the continent, Mortimer and Home are mere dandies who organize society balls. History forgets them with a disconcerting facility. No one speaks about them, and yet they whisper in the ears of kings and presidents.
Well, those property deeds across the world, all signed by the same hand and over several centuries.
I am proud of you, Louis.
I found your notes written in lemon juice.
Where all eyes size you up. At one stage, I was so afraid of losing my mind that I noted everything down. Congratulations, Louis.
Как она руку
Wait,
потеряла-то?
please tell me you didn't open Pandora's box.
The urn? Yes, I did. Why?
Too bad. We'll deal with it later.
Я не помню, что это, ну ладно.
How can you explain that someone manages to bring together so many important figures without anyone knowing?
And without any security or personnel.
Так, ну и в принципе все.
Louis, I am proud of you. You came all this way. You found me. You have surpassed me.
You taught me everything I know. Right. How did it all begin?
I saw him.
What do you mean you saw him?
I was 20 years old. I was young and carefree. I traveled the world in search of adventure. In the Persian Gulf, we came across an ancient grimoire that became unlocked. Composed of 7 parts, each one was a book in itself, set in a sort of metal armor that structured the whole thing. When all the volumes were brought together, they formed a single book. On my return to Paris, I set to studying these pages. I spent all my days and nights studying them.
Oh, I can imagine you doing that.
But the writing was in a language I had never seen before.
Elizabeth
Developed
Tagan
well
хера
before
нашла,
Sumerian, in
кстати.
my opinion. So I got the idea to form a small occult circle composed of all the major names in the occult world to see if anyone else could crack it.
And you found no one.
And I found someone, Louis. I found him, or rather he found me. He was young, charismatic, he was flamboyant.
Wait a minute, who are you talking about? Von Borchardt?
No, Mortimer, of course. He
No,
was a
просто так
veritable
назвала.
mine of knowledge. I showed him the book, and he was able to decipher a few passages. We spent several months together studying the pages.
He was already old in those days, wasn't he? So you recognized him when you arrived on the island, right?
No, he wasn't in that body. But I know it was him. I swear it was him. The way he spoke, his posture, a few of his intonations, his mannerisms.
Wait a minute. You were talking about 60 years ago. I've lost the thread.
Yes, sorry. He helped me understand certain passages until I realized that he only translated a few parts for me. But I had aroused his interest. It was too late.
How so?
I mean to say he manipulated me. He used me, and in the end, he stole the book with all its secrets.
Did he ever go to your place?
Not once. At least I don't think so. But before disappearing, he proposed a pact between us. He proposed that I follow him and let him teach me, allow him to bring me up.
And you refused, of course.
Why, naturally, Louis. You don't make deals with the devil. After that, I spent my whole life looking for him. 3 years later, in Berlin, I just missed him. In London, I lost 6 members of the order in a chase. In 1741, in Tunisia, I found a sect of fanatics who had crossed paths with him once. 1741, in Poland. 1749, in India.
8 years ago in Venice.
We agreed never to speak about what happened in Venice, Louis.
And that was before you spoke to me about demons. Wait, the baby we delivered, you and me, that night in Venice, did he have anything to do with Lord Mortimer?
The child was his son.
We stole his son? Are you insane? I always thought we took him to save him.
That was the case. It was precisely to save him from his father.
Need I remind you the mother died during childbirth? What became of the child?
Later. For the moment, that is not the key issue here. Once we found the Al-Azif in Paris, I followed von Borchart's trail here. I didn't think it would lead me straight to the demon. It was careless of me. He toyed with me for a few days, until I caught on, until I saw him as he was. But he had no intention of letting me leave. We are all his pawns, Louis, and if we don't want to spend the rest of our lives turning round in circles here, we must absolutely get off this island. All right, can we move on?
Wait a minute, one last thing.
Так. Вот, кстати, мне
What was going on with the cannons in Tuscany?
It was nothing.
Since when does the order finance wars?
The cannons for that Bonaparte fellow? Listen, once in the lion's den, I did whatever I could to appear legitimate. So yes, I pretended to be interested in Mortimer's project about a young military man who was seeking funding for a foundry in Tuscany. Between you and me, if buying China would have enabled me to escape, I would have signed without hesitation.
Но весь Китай покупать это не
I
надо.
want to know what happened with Elizabeth Adams.
Louis, we haven't time for those details.
I'm sorry, Mother, but I want to know.
She was one of the receptacles for these monsters. I met her parents when she was born. One of the demons got inside her. The demon used her to spy on her father, John Adams. He is one of the founding fathers and vice president of the United States, you know.
Mortimer possessed her?
No, I don't think it was Mortimer. Her father, John Adams, hired me to tend to her, but the evil in her was too deep. In spite of the various treatments I tried on her, I never succeeded in getting it out of her. It's not something I'm proud of, Louis, but I had to try everything.
Окей.
I want to know what happened between you
Там
and
еще
Emily's sister.
вопросы есть.
Great responsibility often brings difficult choices, Louis. That's all you need to know.
Mother, I won't take a step further if you don't answer me.
You dare blackmail me?
I'm listening.
All right, I used her. So there you are. Happy now? We had the Al-Azif, and I didn't think we would be able to escape with it. In order to ensure that the book did not fall into their hands, or that one of them couldn't read in us where we had hidden it, I asked Emily to...
It's Emma.
Yes, or rather for me, it was Emily. So I asked Emma to hide it without anyone seeing. And then I disposed of her. I am sorry for her, but she was part of the Golden Order, Louis. She knew the rules when she joined.
Окей, а вот тут что? А, ну,
Samuel Ritter du Choix. You wanted to send me a letter about Godoy.
I wanted you to run a check on Duke Manuel. But frankly, it doesn't really matter anymore now. Godoy is just a pawn like the others. He is not the one I was looking for.
Are you going to tell me what happened to your hand?
Better than that. I shall show you.
You know, I found your package under a wharf plank.
As a matter of fact, I needed it yesterday. I wasn't expecting anyone to take it.
Ну, извини.
On the evening of my arrival, Cardinal Piaggi came looking for you.
He was determined to give you a letter.
More of his lists. Louis, I think I know what's in that letter, and I beseech you to believe that it is the least of our worries.
Хорошо, у меня
We can
больше нет
sort
к
that
тебе
out
вопросов,
later.
женщина.
Good. I think that's about right. We shall speak about it once we get back to France.
Great actions for humanity have been decided by demons for centuries, Louis. They are playing with our destiny. We are their slaves. And it's time for it to stop. By the way, what was Mortimer's project at this conference?
He demands that the Spanish hand over Louisiana to France.
Oh, knowing him, it won't stop there. We should do our utmost to put a stop to Mortimer's plans. But for the time being, there are more pressing matters.
А, задание-то выполнится, что я с ней встретилась, или что?
There. That's why we are here.
Ой, мать, это что такое? Это какая-то загадка по изгнанию демона, что ли? Или что? Так, ну то, что узнали, так, развилки. Я могла узнать решение Бонапарта, я могла узнать, что новое об Ализире. Но не столь важно, думаю. Не столь важно. Так, это что? Бдительность. На бдительность качаем. Если у меня книжка еще есть на бдительность, было бы неплохо почитать ее. Двойная игра. А книжку читать?
I don't think we're even capable of doing it. You're going to have to find a way to open it.
Why, of course. And what's inside?
Something to vanquish them with?
Perfect. So, how does it open?
We'll need several keys. I found a note from the architect who conceived the mechanism in Mortimer's secret study. We have to first gather 5 objects before we try anything.
Are the 5 objects the keys?
Exactly. We have the Clement III cross, the nails, the Gutenberg Bible, the exegesis of Judas, an armillary sphere, and all we need to match up the dates between the different calendars.
А у меня списочек-то будет? А, ну ладно. Так, спросите о кресте, о гвоздях, о толковании, о других предметах. Наверное, о кресте сначала, может быть.
Well, I haven't the foggiest idea, but it just so happens that's what you are going to use to activate the mechanism. I found the one Mortimer kept. It belonged to Cardinal Guibert, better known by the name of Pope Clement III.
Perfect. Where is it?
Unfortunately, I've lost it. When I lost my hand, I went dashing out, and it must have fallen from my pocket.
Remember, Mother. I'm certain you can remember.
Let me think.
You were running.
I was bleeding to death.
You remember the pain.
I thought I was going to faint. Yes, I remember. I don't think it can be far, can it?
Would you have lost it outside?
No, I don't think so. It must be in the area. I don't remember going up with it.
Perfect. I'll search the crypt before leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Some nails?
Don't ask me. I'm not the one who made the mechanism, you know. When I arrived, there were already a few of them inserted, so I didn't have to worry about those. On the other hand, I remember seeing some in Mortimer's secret study, behind his nightmare.
In a golden cup? Yes. Yes, I saw them too.
Perfect. It will be easy for you to find them then. You need 3 of them.
Very well.
You remember what to do about the rulers. 1191 to enter, and 6466 to exit.
Of course.
Но, если что, я в прохождении посмотрю.
Exegesis. Anything else?
Did you manage to vanquish the Medusa?
To open the chimney? Yes, absolutely.
So you've already come across it. It's the Bible of Judas that is exposed in the secret room behind the chimney.
Why do they call it an exegesis?
Because that's what it is, and not an apocryphal Bible, strictly speaking. It's the study of a text with a summary, not an actual Bible. Anyway, well done for the Gorgon. You did well. You didn't get tricked by the light bouncing back.
Thanks. Do you think I can take it safely?
We haven't got a choice, Louis. Without it, we won't be able to work out this cursed mechanism.
Так, спросите о других предметах. Так, о датах?
What do you mean by the concordance of dates exactly?
Don't worry about that. We already have them. They are written on the back of the message I just gave you.
This is the book in which you left your correspondence with Duchess Hillsborough, isn't it?
That's right.
You still believe it's in the tower room, don't you?
I don't know. There is only one way to find out, though.
Right. I shall go and see. There's one in the portrait gallery.
Yes, but it's enormous. If you don't want to have to go back and forth several times, then I suggest you get a smaller one.
What did you do then?
I didn't think I'd need one. I started without one, and I lost my hand before I did need one. And you can see the result.
Так, хорошо, мы обо всем спросили.
One last thing before you go.
Да-да,
Be
чё?
very careful. If you come across anyone, they can all potentially be spies of Mortimer or
Так, надо
Holmes.
ключ сначала тут
Don't
найти.
ever confide in anyone because a demon can slip inside them at any moment.
Wait, not all of them though. Take Washington.
Especially Washington. He's been conditioned by Mortimer for years. Look at them, for crying out loud. How do you explain their behavior otherwise? The most influential politicians in the Western world gather together without the least protection, without a single aid to assist them, to participate in a conference during which the guests start dropping like flies. Me, Adams, Peru, Hillsborough. Look at the number of calamities that have happened over the past few days. And not one of them has asked to leave the island? Do you find that normal? You'll see. Go up to the manor to look for the keys, and I wager not one of them will speak to you about my being in Emily's room.
Do you think so?
Go on, you'll see. And come back with all the objects in one go. Time is against us.
And remember, the code to get out of the secret office is 6466.
Господи, а почему ты мне не сказала еще раз, как войти в нее, хотя я помню? Так, я хотела... А что я хотела? С каким навыком? А у меня нету. А это нельзя прочесть. Может, убеждение? Ой, ёпта. Так, ну сначала по склепу надо пройтись. Вот это списочек мне дал, конечно.
Famous cross of Claymont III.
О, крест получили.
A Russian ruble.
Русский рубль.
I wonder what it'd be worth today.
Так, это выход, наверное. Так, якорцы. Ой, там что-то еще было. Нифига себе, сколько здесь коллекционных монет. А вот из комнаты мне не дают. Мед. Чё, крест можно сразу ставить?
You ought to go, Louis. If someone finds us here, the situation might well become seriously complicated.
Так, а чё тебе крест-то отдать? Можно, женщина? А, хорошо. Нельзя. Ну ладно, я пока пойду. Ключ с оккультным символом воздуха, кстати. Какой-то органон. Эти якорцы. А, нет. А сфера-то где? У него в комнате же вроде бы. Так, мне не сюда. А как я выйти могу? А, это меч. Я думала, это пистолет. Господи, дайте выйти мне отсюда. О, еще что-то. Могу это взять? Коллекционная монета еще одна. Так, а подожди. Блин, тут так темно, что я ничего не могу разобрать. Я запуталась в этом лабиринте сраном. Так, а по веревке идти? Ну да, конечно. Так.
Right. It's definitely an armillary sphere, but I have to find one that I can take with me. Otherwise, I risk drawing too much attention to my comings and goings. Now, where can I find a smaller one?
А у него случайно в кабинете наверху не было? Ой, я не сюда зашла. Мне лестница нужна вообще-то. Или, подожди, я вообще где?
There's the alchemical symbol of the earth on the lid.
Я могу теперь эти ящики открывать нормально? Я еще какую-то херню получила. Так, я могу в чьи-нибудь комнаты там зайти еще? О! Это я у кого? А, я поняла. Так, там что-то сверкнуло.
A Chinese coin, recognizable by the hole in the middle. If I remember rightly, that's called a cash. A chest locked with a 4-letter code. Surely a word close to the owner's heart. If I'm not mistaken, Paracelsus named the element called zinc.
О, кстати, оккультная херня.
Golden elixir. An armillary
Ой, сфера
sphere.
поменьше.
Perfect. That will save me some time. I only hope that he isn't going to realize it right away.
Так, осталось только в его кабинет пройти. А я могу также вот ту шкатулочку открыть, пожалуйста?
Which four-letter word could open this chest?
Тоже цинк, типа, нет. Ой, а можно как-нибудь так догадаться, не? Если что-то из этого подойдет. Это третье. Ой. Я потом над этим подумаю, пока букву записала. Вот эта вот штука нужна все-таки или нет?
Right. This time, it'll be a lot quicker. If I remember rightly, the code was 1191.
Здесь тоже единица должна, потому что третья заедает на девятке.
Of course.
О, еще попробуй найти все это дерьмо. А я сейчас это читать ни черта не буду.
Weaknesses of the Human Psyche by Gilhelm Trimore.
Ой. Ну, раз меда у меня много.
Trimore. An anagram of Mortimer. Wow. Arrogant enough to publish writings on mental control in full view of everyone. I wonder who he's writing for.
Так, из этого ничего не читаем. Это нам нафиг не надо. Записывали не нужны. Так, вот здесь вот. Ой, это опять якорцы.
Looks like obsidian or onyx.
Так, я же это читала.
It must weigh a ton. What on earth could that be?
Так, тоже не то.
Feathers, pigeons probably.
Ой, блин, сколько здесь сразу засветилось. Так, это... О, гвозди.
There. Those are the nails I was looking for. I noticed they were old and rusty, but I hadn't noticed these traces of... Could that be blood? Is it really the relic of the Holy Cross? I can hardly believe it.
A Van Leeuwenhoek microscope?
The most sophisticated microscope there is. When I think of the difficulty the Order had in getting hold of one of these...
Толкование Библии, блин. Да что?
A chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol of fire.
А, зато другой оккультный символ получила. Господи, как мне искать в тоне говна?
Feathers, pigeons, probably.
Не. Так, на шаре уже ничего нету.
The map of Europe. Someone's written 26 million in France. It's the estimated population of France. Mortimer knows very well that France has a higher population than its neighbors. He's preparing for it to go to war and knows he can make it happen by stirring up the people. I'm standing in front of a lesson of absolute mastery in military strategy, which is absolutely spine-chilling if it turns out that Mortimer is a demon. Troops are directed towards Italy. I get the feeling that Piaggi's going to be in for a hard time.
Опять субтитры пропали. Или, может, стоит за этим кабинетом посмотреть?
All right, come on, let's get out of here. 6466, if I remember correctly.
Ладно, нормально. У меня здесь ничего не осталось еще, что я могу забрать. Так, хорошо. Где собрать эти чертовы предметы? О, и тут эта сфера еще. Господи, сколько у него их? Господи, да дайте мне посмотреть. Где найти эту херню? А не вот эти развилки в сюжете. Библия в башенной комнате. Подожди, у меня предметы тут еще все, да? А я не могу ее посмотреть, да? Опа. Так, Библия. Эмма оставила ее в башенной комнате. Ага. И что там еще? Ну, сфера... Подожди, сферу я вроде нашла. И толкование. Тайная комната в портретной галерее. То есть мне отсюда уже надо валить. Насколько я помню, это все на первом этаже было. Так, это... Так, я тут была. Я хочу еще в разные комнаты зайти. Пока есть возможность.
Жак Перу?
А, ну он тем более умер же. Можно и кабинет его посетить. Если что-то интересное, конечно, есть. А, или я была уже в его комнате. Скорее всего, была.
Monsieur Napoléon Bonaparte. Carmelite water will give me a little reprieve.
Don Quixote. Talking without thinking is like shooting without taking aim.
Manuel Godoy. A painting of himself in his room. Now that's not going to help him develop a sense of ruble.
Еще 1 рубль. Так, а в спальне у него что?
Prometheus, punished for stealing fire from the gods and giving it to man.
И все?
Charles IV of Spain. Now there's no chance of Godoy forgetting who he owes everything to.
Brutus and his companions taking an oath to kill Caesar.
Так, а я в свою комнату могу попасть? Это янтарь. Я ради обоссанного янтаря сюда все хотела попасть. Так, а башенная комната. Так, где карта тут? А. То есть не надо оббежать еще. Подожди, ты что, опять сюда же? Нет.
Ah, Louis. Glad you're here.
Blasted. He's gonna talk about my mother.
Come and see what I've found. There are pieces of paper in the ashes of the chimney. Someone's been burning something here.
Incredible. He doesn't seem to want to speak to me about what happened between my mother and the Hillsborough sisters. Show me around.
Look, it's possible to distinguish two different writing styles.
The rest of the correspondence between my mother and Emma.
Someone tried to burn an exchange of messages. I'm certain there must be more.
Shit. What on earth is he doing?
If you want my opinion, a servant must have burnt some old papers. That's all.
Why, of course. You very nearly made me think that you were trying to hide something, Louis.
Черт.
No, I'm sure there must be other hidden messages.
He won't let go. He's going to work his way back to the Bible if he continues.
Мне нужна Библия.
The Bible's still there.
Никто ничего не видел, никто ничего не знает. Не пофиг, что я обманула Вашингтона. Ему здесь делать нечего.
Hey, look, there.
No, I don't see anything.
Come, Louis, look. Someone's clearly drawn a 4 in the dust. I have a clue.
He's going to be disappointed when he sees the Bible's disappeared.
Ну, удачи с поисками, я пошла отсюда. Так, теперь надо на первый этаж. Ему пока не нужно знать, что я с матерью тут общаюсь и разгадываю. Ой, сюда можно было пройти. Я сейчас весь первый этаж обойду так, да? Ну, в принципе, потом недалеко ходить надо будет до матери.
Let's see if the statues are in place yet.
Да, конечно же,
That
неправильно.
statue is not positioned correctly.
А, еще?
Open sesame. The ring of the Nibelungs. Even if Mortimer is several centuries old, I don't see what part he has in this legend. And given all the relics preserved here, Caesar's laurel wreath. Mortimer really is what my mother says he is.
По-моему, тут что-то пропало, нет?
No, that's impossible. No, not Caesar. Hey, Mortimer's the author of this work. It talks about his passion for art.
Я сейчас стекло бить буду, да? А, нет.
So that's the exegesis
Ну,
of
давай,
Judas.
бери уже.
I hope Mortimer doesn't read it very often. Otherwise, he's going to notice that someone's stolen it. But that's just too bad. I need it.
Все, теперь к мамке бежать, да?
So that's Pandora's box?
Встретитесь с матерью.
An urn?
Да,
Right.
конечно.
I've got what I need. Now let's not waste any more time.
Если там, конечно, еще не ёбнули.
Given the size of that armillary sphere, I'm really glad I found a smaller one.
Ага. Да, чтоб нам руку не оттяпало.
So, good. You've managed to gather all the keys.
Я просто так заскочила.
Yes, that's right. I have everything. What should I start with?
Place the Clement III cross on the console. Then you have to put the nails on the disc of the door.
What hole should I put the nails in?
Well, I can't really advise you there, because I haven't exactly made the best choices myself. All I can say is that you have to insert 1 to choose a town, 1 to choose a chapter, and 1 to choose a verse.
Охуеть, понятно.
All right, my turn now.
Go ahead, impress me. I'll shut up and let you concentrate.
This exegesis contains comments from Judas on the different Gospels. It only contains certain chapters and verses, and the chapters are indicated by Roman numerals. The lexicon refers to different chapters and verses from the exegesis of Judas.
Потом чё, ёб твою мать, чё так сложно? Так, и...
The cycle of the moons has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now.
Так, если я подойду к этой хуйне?
The fresco clearly shows the birth of Christ.
Louis, I can assure you that that is not the solution to this enigma. This fresco's only purpose is to mislead. I know that now. Please, focus on another theme about Christ.
I'll have to trust her. You could see that the paint has come off in parts. Difficult to see what was there, but I can distinguish the letters N, R, I. Nothing more. Why, of course. They're part of the initials INRI that you can find on the cross of Jesus at his crucifixion. Why, of course. INRI. Jesus Nazarenus Rex Eudorum. These initials stand for Jesus the Nazarene, King of the Jews. This is the inscription which appears on the cross at the crucifixion of Jesus. Yes, it's definitely a representation of the birth of Christ, but some of the details have flaked away. I can't see any other clues. One thing is for sure, this enigma deals with the life of Jesus, like my mother said.
Подумать над событием. 7 штук.
If Mortimer deliberately set a trap by showing the birth of Christ, then maybe the solution is the contrary. The death of Christ in that case? It looks like there are 3 types of inscriptions. There are 3 styles of writing, and I've got 3 nails. There must be a link. I must surely put in 1 nail per category. These towns have one thing in common. They're all related to the life and death of Jesus. For example, Jordan is the place of the baptism of Christ. Clearly, we have names of towns, Arabian numerals, and Roman numerals.
И всё? Бестолковая трата талантов. События.
Chapter 10, verse 30.
Я хотела
I
распятие.
and the Father are one. Chapter 10, verse 30. I and my Father are one.
Ага. Классно. Нет, я о событиях хотела, подожди.
Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 19, verse 17. And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him, and 2 others with him, on either side, and Jesus in the midst.
А следующее событие здесь что?
Chapter 24, verse 3. Jesus rose from the dead on the 14th of Nisan, 3793, in Nazareth. He appeared with a halo above his head. Chapter 24, verse 3. But when they entered, they did not find the body of the Lord Jesus. While they were wondering about this, suddenly 2 men in clothes that gleamed like lightning stood beside them.
Вообще им нужно
In their
крест на
fright,
подставку
the women
положить, я
bowed
какой-то
down
хуйней
with their faces to the
занимаюсь.
ground. But the men said to them, Why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here. He has risen. Remember how he told you while he was still with you in Galilee.
Выберите события и ставьте гвозди в дверь. Ну, это пока распятие и воскрешение, не? О рождении...
Chapter 1, verse 9. Jesus was baptized by John in Jordan on the 9th of Hesvan, 3852. Chapter 1, verse 9. And it came to pass in those days that Jesus came from Nazareth of Galilee, and was baptized by John in Jordan. And coming up out of the water, he saw the heavens opened, and the Spirit like a dove descending upon him.
Не, я сейчас хуйню сделаю, стопудово. Сейчас я сделаю хуйню. Чё? Это слишком душная загадка, блядь. Ой. Не хочу долго думать с этим. Это еще одна какая-то тупая загадка. Расположите диски в соответствии с событием и опустите рычаг.
Well done, Louis. I hadn't seen those other wheels. Try connecting the theme to see if it goes all the way.
А там, походу, ее рука замучена. Положить руку, блядь. Ну да, еще как положу. Ой. Не. Так, изучить.
There must surely be a connection between the wheels.
А мне пока то
Look at
есть
this.
изучать надо.
There are notches between each of the wheels. So,
Можно я не буду?
I have to
Можно я
link
так
the
все
name of the
сделаю?
town from the theme I've chosen to an icon, then to a date, and finally, the date to the moon. This wheel contains several symbols made up of 1 or 2 figures and 1 letter. The highest figure does not exceed 31, and each letter corresponds to a month of the year. A for April, and M for March. I think these symbols must represent a specific date. There are different icons on this wheel, but it looks like some of them now. Given the difference between the number of icons and the number of towns, I think that only one path connects all the wheels with one another. Let's try to connect the theme I've chosen with the rest. I think I can make out each one of the icons apart from the one covered in blood. Going clockwise from the one I just mentioned, we have the halo that represents the resurrection. The waves represent the baptism of Jesus. It's more difficult to identify the next one. Maybe a crib, and in that case it's surely linked to the birth of Christ. The red herring that my mother followed. Then, the symbol represents the crown of thorns that Jesus wore during his crucifixion. The dove also represents the baptism. Certainly another red herring. Then comes the symbol of the Trinity. And finally, the candle that must stand for the Last Supper.
Опять все события перечитывать надо.
This wheel represents the different moons. In the occult sciences, we represent the full moon by an X. As for the dark moon, called the new moon, in cults, it's often associated with something harmful.
А, вставлены. Чё? Она мне никак не поможет, да?
During new moon, the moon is entirely in the shadow. Then, the shadow moves from west to east, meaning left to right, and goes through the following states. Waxing crescents, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, last quarter, waning crescent, and the cycle starts over with the full shadowed new moon. The moon shadow moves from west to east.
Ой, ёб твою мать.
7th of Shaban, 607, first quarter. 19th of Jamada al-Awwal, 639, waning gibbous. 13th of Shaban, 607, waxing gibbous. 8th of Ramadan, 553, waxing crescent. 6th of Rajab, 611, waxing crescent. 5th of Jamada al-Tahani, 609, waxing crescent. 30th of Ramadan, 554, waning crescent. 20th of Du al-Hajjah, 561, waning gibbous. 6th of Layar, 3789, waxing crescent.
Я могу их сопоставить теперь?
It looks like there are 3 types of inscriptions.
Ой, это я уже изучала. Чё, у мамки попросить помощи, может? А, подожди, это вот здесь вот надо расставлять? Ой, вот я тупая. Я упустила.
Let's see what combination corresponds to the chosen theme.
Так, а в смысле? А так мне ж руку... Подожди, а вот теперь я могу руку-то положить? Надеюсь, меня она не ёбнет.
I can feel the lever at the bottom.
Good luck.
Ой, бля. Ну давай. Не оттяпай мне руку только.
I never doubted you, my son.
Так, у меня же была черта находчивая, разве нет? Рукой типа. Я мог обсудить итоги собрания с Мануэлем. О, а как я могла с ним обсудить это все, если его не было в своей комнате? Так, можно еще прокачать. Убеждение. А можно убрать? Лучше языки вкачаю. А, это все. А тут немного осталось. Но это все на следующий стрим оставлю.